What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Subnautica. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today as we hang out for a bit and get into trouble under the sea. Under the sea. We need to get ourselves like an aquatic, underwater, oceanic friend who just like plays Caribbean instruments while we sail around and like handle all of our problems. I feel like that would definitely add to my morale in this situation. So, in the previous episode I had promised that I would talk about bacon, because obviously it's a conversation that needs to be had, and while I do think that the whole bacon trend on the internet may have gone too far, I think that in this case it's gotta be worth it. So my dad bought a hog, between him and like 5 or 6 of his friends. Apparently they went to the county fair and they bought like a hog, and the hog was actually it was the winner of the county fair or the state fair or the city fair or whatever it was. I'm not really sure how this whole thing works. I'm not really up on the whole like rural let's go farm something type deal. That is not something with which I am very educated. However, that being said already, let me put this, actually we gotta go deep sea diving to get our gold so that we can build our Cyclops. And so in the interest of creating forth the Cyclops, I'm actually gonna, can I just drop the Sea Glide in here? Like, I don't even want to, like, carry it around with me. If we could just, like, drop it in here, that would be great. That would be absolutely fantastic. And then, oh, wow, that metal is a lot bigger than I expect. Why is it so much bigger inside here than it is outside? That's weird. I mean, I suppose I could just stack up all the metal over on this side, and that would be that. Anyways, so my dad and his friends went together after the state fair, the county fair, or whatever, and they bought, like, this sow or boar or something that was supposed to, oh, it is pretty big, never mind, maybe it's just like a perceptional thing, that was supposed to be used for butchering. And so they paid a guy, they had it like butchered in like the old classical sense, and they had that on Christmas, for Christmas dinner and also for Christmas breakfast. And I gotta say, fresh bacon is pretty amazing. I've never had anything but store-bought before, but I think there are things to be talked about here. Like the fresh bacon, it's a little bit, it's not like it's tougher, but it's cut a lot thicker, which I think is in control of... I don't like the way that this thing sits. Like, I wish that there was a way... Can I? See, I wish there was a way with this thing where I could either adjust my head without rotating the entire Seamoth. Like, what I would like for it to do is that W would always be forward, A and D would always be strafed to the sides, and then maybe Q and E would be a barrel roll. That way, if you're not pressing any of those, your head is actually free to look around and investigate. Because as it stands right now, I feel very constricted when it comes to my view space inside of this thing. It also makes me sad that my oxygen doesn't come back. But anyways, we're back to ground 1. We need to find ourselves some gold, and I have no idea where that's at. So I figure... I think we're near some kind of tectonic zone. Let's see here. Only the most skilled of mechanical and IT-related alchemists can create the tectonic. Let's go... I don't know if we should go for deeper, or if we should go for... I heard this thing starts to take damage after 100 meters now, though. You know how, like, in the previous series, we were able to take it down, like, really deep? I heard that this actually only goes down to 100 meters now. Oh, wow, the game's lagging out because it's generating all the new terrain. Alright, well, I don't know if we have to go into sea caves in order to do this properly, or what we're keeping an eye out for. This is all unexplored territory for me. I found gold in our previous playthrough, like, on the side, like, down in some caves at the bottom of the ocean. What the hell was that noise? Oh my god, that thing sounded unpleasant. That sounded like my stomach does at 4 in the morning when I haven't, like, eaten since dinner. Like, mrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr 60 frames per second, but it says that it is. Like, both Fraps and my reporting software are saying it's 60 frames. It looks like we can actually go down pretty deep. What is that? It's kind of cute, but it's also kind of scary. I don't know. I think I'm gonna stay away from it for right now. I'm gonna avoid the urge to pet. I think that's the big thing you gotta watch out for. The urge to pet is real. The urge to pet is very, very real. So we got some sea caves down here. How far down do these go, though? And what is that? Oh my god. Some, like, militant sea cucumbers down here. They've been listening to way too much Demobor gear. They're getting their Shagrath on. Well, when is this thing gonna start to crack and, like, get damaged? Because I read on the forums that it's only good to 100 meters, and we're like 150. So I don't know if this is like a watch where it's like, yeah, technically you can take it deeper, but we haven't tested it and we're not sure what's gonna happen if you do. Oh shit, that's all bad. Okay. So now that it's dark, it actually makes this a whole lot more precarious. I mean, we've got all the oxygen that we need. My big concern, though, is getting lost down in here because it's too dark for me to navigate. So let's maybe stick to... I'm trying to be safe about this, but let's stick to, like, the upper reaches, I guess. Kind of like these chasms that are in the top, this little honeycomb Swiss cheese type area. See if we can find anything useful. It looks like we have a hostile up there. I just bumped into a wall. Don't worry about it. There's nothing attacking us. I'm just bad at piloting. My driving skills continue to be Excelsior. The other thing that I would say is we should probably look around like open sea vents like Vulcan's Anvil or Vulcan's Forge. Is that what I named it? Vulcan's Forge. What just hit us? Either way, we've just been struck, and I don't think that I'm okay for it. I don't want to be struck from anything. I don't want to be struck from the list, struck with a fist, struck with a lisp. None of those things are things that I want to be struck with. It's a little bit dark right now for me to get my job done, for me to do my gerb. And so I'm thinking, well, the dalliance is real right now. I'm definitely dallying. I'm dilly-dally, shilly-shallying. It's okay. When in doubt and you might be irritating your audience, bring up Eris. Eris is always a good call. Nobody is ever upset to talk about Eris. I mean, they are, but it's in sort of like a warm, she died too early sort of way. I cry every time. I cry every time. No, I don't. I don't, but seriously. That broke my little 14-year-old heart the first time that I, like, played that game. I was just like, no! Why? Why? You were so adorable and cute with your giant... See, she was ahead of the curve, too, with her Ugg boots. That was before Ugg boots were even invented. I bet the guy that invented Ugg boots got it from Eris. That's where he had to have gotten it from, because she was the first. She was the first to have giant... What is that? Is that gold? Well, it's like a little poo pile at the bottom of the ocean. Do we get hurt if we leave with the pressure variant right now? I'm a tiny bit concerned about it. Oh, we have no flashlight neither. Okay, so I should probably remedy that as well. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, this is not, I mean, the pressure's not getting us. That's good. That's pretty cool. So I'm glad that we're not being crushed like a styrofoam cup beneath an especially large and girthsome foot. But at the same time, I don't know where to even begin looking for gold in this game. I think, as I recall, I found it both in the shallows and I found it in the deep water. It was just sort of rare either way. You just didn't always find it. It was kind of like one of those random things that came up every now and again. You know what this Seamoth needs? It needs onboard lasers, so that I can defend myself from underwater assholes who might try and destroy me. I suppose we could go out on an excursion to Vulcan's Forge and see if maybe there's any gold down at the bottom. What the hell is that? Why are there falling stones right now? Oh, man. That's the last thing we need. Gravity. Well, we might be able to get it from the bottom right here. I remember there were mineable stones down and in here that we could take advantage of in the previous playthrough. They didn't really have any use, but like these stones here... Yeah, they had magnesium inside of them, which bonds very, very readily with oxygen. It also tends to, well, you don't tend to see it with magnesium very often, because as I recall, they're both the same chemical size. And so, like, when you're trying to balance an equation, they tend to not be conducive to each other. On the opposite end, they tend to bond very, very well, as I remember, with oxygen. Those hydroxides in there every now and again too. I have no idea which way I'm facing right now. I am so disoriented with regards to up and down, which is a real problem with scuba too. Once you're like in blind diving and all that fun stuff. I still don't know how this thing regenerates either, so we might consider that. Let me see if I can get back. We're gonna go back to base, and then from there what I'm gonna try. Oh, I get oxygen now? Oh, it refills your oxygen when you go to the surface inside the Seamoth now. That's pretty cool. I don't know if maybe the Seamoth recharges when you put it in the Cyclops or how this works. I'm hoping that it recharges somehow, though. Vulcan's Forge should be over here somewhere, although I think we're still like in deep water, and it's gonna be difficult to tell until, yeah, we are still in deep water, fairly deep water anyways. 100 meters is no slouch. That's a pretty good dive right there. Just dive. Dive. If only Sean Connery was around to lend his voice acting talents. The earth is still shaking as though we're near some kind of tectonic site or tectonic activity, so I think I'm gonna keep taking a look around. Ah, did we just get hit by a... what was that? I don't even know what that was. Wait, is this the cave we were just in? I can't tell. Back up to the surface. I think it might be. I think what I'm interested in doing right now is let's go back. I'm going to reorient, and I think we're going to try and go into Vulcan's Forge one more time and see what we can find over there. Get our salamanders on for the Emperor. For the Emperor and the Light and Sigmar and, you know, all of those other guys. All of those are the swell, cool cats. Oh, wow, I'm super turned around. Alright. I thought that was a giant fish for a second. I was about to be like, nope, oh shit, no. Like, I've done a lot of nopes during this series, but oh shit, no is what I would say for a fish that big. There it is, that's what I'm looking for. We gotta line up with the lights on the back side, and then I can vaguely navigate. We can build a compass, and so for navigation's sake, I should probably do that. I was gonna talk about emery, too. I did look at what emery was, and it's actually not an archaic term. Emery is it's a term for an amalgamation of minerals containing, like, corundum, and then, like, spinels, and other random stuff that you can find inside of rocks. If you don't know, so let's talk about vaguely what's the difference between a rock and a mineral. So, emery is a rock, and a rock is simply an amalgamation of minerals, whereas a mineral is something that is at least slightly chemically pure. And so, quartz, for example, mineral. Corundum, mineral. You find yourself with all kinds of good stuff. Talc, mineral. Now, something that was made up of talc, and something that was made up of quartz, and something that was made up of, like, anything else and just mushed together, that's a rock. It's an amalgamation of minerals. But anyways, we're a little bit low on electricity right now. Part of me is thinking it might not be a good idea to take this bad boy out for a spin when we're so low on energy, but I think we can make this work. Let's go have a look for right now. I don't know what these big clubby-tailed things do, but I'm willing to bet it's probably not friendly. It probably has something to do with them bludgeoning. That tail, it looks like a Stegosaurus' tail, and I like Stegosauruses a lot, but that doesn't mean that I want to be hit by one. I prefer not to be hit by anything right now. Cars, Stegosauruses. I'm going through my lists again. Anytime I get caught up on lists. Let's see here. Vulcans Forge. Where are you at? It's around here somewhere. Like, around the sea ledge, as I recall. Is our screen shaking? That's how you know. You can kind of, like, hear the eruption moving through the water. There's a little cave down here. Let's have a look. I'm gonna go into the cave. I know we don't have our dive equipment with us right now, but I think it's probably a good idea to investigate every lead now that we're looking for gold. If we don't find it in this episode, what I'll do is I'll probably look it up in between episodes and see like exactly where it is that we can find it. Ooh, this got dark real fast. Okay. Well, I don't know if I should go in further or if I should back off. We got plenty of oxygen. I think we can... What is this? Rutile, which is another stone. Alright. Well, rutile might be useful. You can call it titania if you want. I don't know. They call it that because rutile, I believe, is one of the rocks or the minerals that bears a ton of titanium every now and again. It's kind of like a bluish rock, as I recall. It's got titanium in it, though, which is why they call it titania. That's kind of like its ancient name. Alright, well... We made it through here and we took pictures. I'm going to head back because our oxygen's looking a little bit sketchy. We can't swim very quickly underwater like this. I think maybe I should ditch an oxygen tank. And then once I ditch an oxygen tank, I think it might not be a bad idea to bring the sea glide along with us so that at least we can navigate a little bit better. On the plus side, now that we found rutile underneath the water, I don't know if there's any constructions that require rutile as of right now, but my guess is that later on you're going to be able to refine that into titanium, which would be pretty cool. Titanium is actually, a lot of people are like, my shield is made out of titanium alloy. It's because titanium, you can make good alloys out of it, but titanium in and of itself is actually kind of piss poor for building stuff out of because it's kind of soft. It does have like some cool properties though. So for example, a titanium flecked blade. If you ever wondered how they make sparks fly off of swords in old like 80s action movies, that was how. It's a blade that's struck with a little bit of titanium inside of it. Titanium readily sparks and kind of like shoots off. I guess it's kind of like a bluish spark. An almost electrical looking spark whenever it's hit with more titanium or another metal. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm going to take this back. Oh, it refilled its own energy, so that's cool. I don't know if it uses solar energy or what it uses. For right now, we need to go feed ourselves, so let's go back and we're going to do the equivalent of hitting up McDonald's. We're going to have some fast food, and then once we get that taken care of, I'm going to bring the Sea Glide back with me instead. I think our exploration is slightly hampered at the moment, like dirty laundry, and I'd like to bring it up to like a current state and make it work out better. Make this whole thing function a tad better for us. Go back up and into our lovely... Yeah, we need to be able to swim faster. This under the sea, like, breaststroke thing is not doing it for me. Sea Glide, you still here? Good. You're coming along with me. Whoa, what happened right there? I think I simultaneously clicked both the Sea Glide and also the ladder at the same time. So we've got some stuff in here. Oh, we need to catch more fish. Okay, that's lame. I'll drop the Rutil in there. It looks like we have a cooked air sac, so that'll buy us a little bit of time so that we're not hunting on an empty stomach. The emery I don't even think we need, so I'm just going to drop it right here. The oxygen tanks, I don't have a lot of room right now. I figure we can leave them in here. The game used to have a problem where stuff would fall through the floors. I'm going to hope and pray that for right now that doesn't happen. I don't know if it'll help out at all, but we'll give it our best shot. I believe those right there, those boomerangs cannot be caught because they're not real boomerangs. However, air sacs will do it. Yeah, that'll do it for me. And then if we could find ourselves anything else down and in here, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it, universe. There's a Gary fish right there. That's going to be 32 fill, as I recall. Oh, he's going to try and go through there. There we go. I'm gonna declare that my new unit of stomach measurement. It's called the fill. And I think that works because back in the old Bam Margera days, like the Jackass days, they're always messing with Phil, who's kind of like a big rotund guy. And so I'm just going to call it, it gives us 32 fills. My stomach feels as though it could use a couple more fills in order to hit its brink. Alright, so we'll go up in here, cook up some Gary fish real fast. I think I also took some time to get some membranes maybe. Oh no, I didn't. That must have been another time when I played the game. Never mind. I don't know what I'm remembering right now, but for the time being, that'll do. That'll do. I'm not going to make any of the really good water because I frankly don't see the point. It's easier just to do it like this. And so now that we've ditched a tank, yeah, that'll work. That'll work for right now. Let's get inside the Seamoth. And what I want to do is sort of just about face from right here and go off this way slightly. I've got to get back inside of it for right now. We've got ourselves the bugged out HUD. Every now and again your character bugs out with his hand. I think it's because of the sea glide. There it is. So it's actually fixable. I am happy to say that didn't used to fix it, I don't think. Oh, look. We've got little things along the bottom of the ocean here. What are these? Where'd they go? There they are. It's a stasis rifle fragment. A stasis rifle fragment. I don't know if those are rare, but it's seeming like... I'm going to say the answer is new. I'm going to say that the answer is aligned with N's and O's. So I think it might be easier to feel this one out, because I know we're near Vulcans Forge right now, because I can see like a slight shake in the camera every couple seconds when it goes off. However, we're going to want to find the vent hole that the matter comes out of down here. And I know I said I was going to talk about the subduction process in the last episode, so we'll talk about that right now, the topic at hand. So I talked about this briefly, but essentially when you're looking at areas like Vulcans Forge, what you're looking at is the result of underwater... Is this it right here? What you're looking at is the result of underwater volcanism. And what that means is that when the plates slide past each other, it provides you with a couple of different situations. And it's either the plates subducting, sliding past each other, but as you might guess, when large plates slide or slide underneath each other, or slide past each other, or grind against each other, it produces a fair amount of heat, especially once combined with the fact that you have ocean water and other stuff up in there. What you ended up with is a little bit of melt. What you get with melt is, I don't really know if you're familiar with hot materials, but when materials get hot, they expand, which causes them to rise. Lava and magma are no different. It's lava once it breaches the surface. It's magma when it's below the surface, in case you were wondering on the distinction there. And so it tends to rise, and it creates these little magma chambers that slowly move towards the surface from the area of subduction. A subduction area specifically is an area where one plate is diving beneath another plate, and that's how you end up with island chains along continental areas. You end up with hot spots, which is just lava leaking up from underground. And you end up, that's how islands get built. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff right there. It's how lava and landmass gets built, and you'll forgive my terrible driving for right now. I think I see a couple of... Oh, spacebar makes me go up. I was wondering how I gained elevation. Okay, so that'll do it. I know this thing is around here somewhere. It's in this vicinity. I'm going to spend this entire episode looking for Vulcans Forge. I know it. I know it. I'm so bad at navigating unless I've got myself a compass and anything else. Hey, there's another little kit piece, though. I don't know. I think we've probably picked up everything useful at this point, but I'll go down here and check it out. Another Seamoth fragment. I don't know if that's useful or not, but it's in our inventory now, so I'm going to assume that it is. Maybe someday. I don't know if it helps us build like a free Seamoth or what it does for us, but I'm going to get back inside of our little craft here. Let's go back up to the surface and get our oxygen refilled. Oh, I'm way off. This isn't where Vulcan's Forge is. See, that's unfortunate. I'm disappointed with myself right now because my navigational skills are lacking very, very poorly. There's also islands in the game. Supposedly they're off that way behind the ship's thrusters, but hey, I'm going to try and keep myself out from in front of anything that thrusts at the moment because I'm just not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood. I had Chex Mix for breakfast. That's what starts it out, is that I have a real breakfast. I have Eggos and like waffles around, but it's Chex Mix's fault. Chex Mix does not make a good breakfast. I think that big guy's probably going to take a swipe at us if he can get away with it. Which, why wouldn't he be? There's no regional underwater magistrate around here. There's nobody to bring him to task if he does something terrible. I'm going to keep backing up slightly. I'd love it if they added the beeping sound from trucks onto the back of these things when it backs up. It's like, beep, beep. And then animals can be attracted to the beep. Yup, see? Emergent gameplay right there. Emergent gameplay. It'd also be funny as hell. There's volcanism going on around here, all these locations. There's a lot of shake going on. So seeing as we're seeing like seismic activity around here, I'm figuring we gotta be close. Go back up to the surface and get slight eyes on here. It might have been more to the left. I'm just trying to like relationally, I'm trying to use like essentially all that I'm doing right now is I'm using positional markers to see if maybe I can find the thing that I'm looking for, but I don't think we're going to have much luck. I'll probably go ahead in between episodes and look up where gold is at because I don't feel like we accomplished much right here. The previous episodes I was pretty happy with. This one, unfortunately, I feel like we didn't really do much. We just talked about nothingness and kind of like cruised around. But for the time being, I think I'll probably break it off right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Subnautica. I look forward to seeing you all in future episodes. I am having a blast with the game. Even the empty space in this game where I'm just cruising around doing nothing is entertaining to me anyways. And so I figure that it must be mildly entertaining to somebody else of the same persuasion as myself. I will see you all later. Hi, do out there, everybody. And as always, it's my pleasure to be your host. Bye.